Well, we're back, and just an update video. Turn this radio down a little bit so we can hear. As you can see, the engine is a little bit bare. Took the manifold, intake, exhaust manifold off, took the generator off, and got the water pump off, inlet off, got all the plugs out, the wires off, coil, and I took the starter out. Everything has been pretty much refurbished. I'm waiting on some paint for some of the parts, but I've got some KBS coating paint that I'm going to be using for the frame and for the engine. It's going to have gray, the factory gray on the engine and valve cover. I got some heat paint for the manifolds that is a cast iron gray. But anyway, we went to the Auburn auction last Friday. This is Sunday, and picked up some items that will make a nice addition to the truck when I get to it. I'll show you what I've got. This is just a conglomeration of different things, but picked up a nice 6-bolt horn, horn. Got a front license plate bracket. Be nice. And I got me a rear view mirror that I hope will work, and also an accessory item, a dome light. It's got a switch on it, which will be nice. So whether I hook that up or not, I did find I took the fuel pump off too, and come to find out the one that was on it was for a 37. This is my water pump I took off and refurbished. Yeah, I had a rebuild kit for it on eBay. So I got that. Those are all waiting to be painted, most of that stuff. And then I found some transmission mounts. And I got a front engine mount. So I'm set for parts for a little while. Next comes off is the dustpans each side. I'm going to straighten those out a little bit. Paint those. Those will be painted black, but I'm waiting for that KBS frame sealer paint that I'm going to get. Do that with that. So it's supposed to be pretty tough stuff. But I also have to figure out, I show you something else I bought. These are my manifolds, my exhaust manifold. Take a look what I found inside of it when I pulled it off. The mice had crawled up inside of it. You can see the end of it here. And this is the intake. Intake was fine. But the mice had crawled up, and I couldn't figure out how they got in there, because the carburetor sits, or manifold sits intake on top of here, and then the carburetor, and the carburetor had air clear. And I thought, how did they get in there? My dad was over here, and he said, I see the mice got in your exhaust manifold. He said, they must have climbed up the exhaust pipe. I went, that's it. Because I had no muffler on it. I cut the muffler off quite a while ago, and just had a pipe sticking out, and that's how they got up in there. And of course, who knows when this was, but anyway, these are going to be all sandblasted and painted that cast iron gray. This is a mount for the spare tire. Support comes off of the frame, and but this is the little remote oil filter that I got. It's for a actually the guy said it was off a 55 Chevy, and so it had the replacement cartridge in it, so I've got a number for it, which is good, so I know what to replace it with. But I've got to figure out how to put the lines on. I know they have an inlet on one of them, and well, the other one's obviously an outlet, so I'm sure this is the inlet, so it goes in and filters down through. But Anyway, I'm going to put that on. It actually bolts onto the intake manifold if I can get that to work. But I got to figure out somehow down here, it's part of the oil pump, I believe. But I got to figure out how in the deuce to get a line to it. I guess I'll just have to play with it, and maybe some of you YouTubers can help me out there as far as where to put that line at. The guy that I talked to yesterday, or at the swap meet, he told me something about my oil pressure line for my gauge. He says you tee off of that, so I don't know, but I will figure it out, and we will get her back to looking like working. I mean, it never had one on it to begin with, so it's going to be a nice addition for it. So, but anyway, once I get the pans off and then I'm going to take and tear apart the pedal mechanism, and then I'm going to rebuild the master cylinder. I'm going to keep it as much original as I can. I think it's cool. So I'm going to do that. Did some work on my running board supports. They were all bent up. This is my grill. This is the other dilemma that I'm coming into. I rebuilt the outside frame of that with a piece of aluminum angle iron, but I need to get some pieces that will extend up in underneath this, and I really haven't come up with an idea yet. I think that I'm going to take and these things are kind of like a U shape. Let me see if I can get close enough where you can kind of see them there. But anyway, I'm going to take like a little piece of 1/4 inch by 1/8 inch stock and just stick down in these grooves and run them in there so far, and then just run them up into the underside of this angle so that I can complete that. I mean, and then I'll maybe run a couple of these little, you can see these little strips that run across. I'll just do something there to weld onto that stock to kind of make it look as original as I can. I mean, yeah, this stinking grill is just out of sight priced. Jeez, I want like $500 for that stupid grill. It's like it ain't gonna happen. But I've got the fuel tank to drop. See, I got some more stuff painted. That's for the front end of the radiator and grill. But the fuel tank I want to take out. I bought a gas cap too. I found a gas cap at the swap meet. And I got some of this KBS tank sealer, so I'm going to go through that, coat the outside with the frame sealer, and then I'll do the inside with this KBS stuff, and hopefully I can salvage that fuel tank. That's got a cool spout on it. That there is cast iron. That is awesome. I never saw anything like that, you know. But yeah, that's cast iron. I don't believe the tube is, but this part here is. It's all cast. I was tickled I got a cap for it. Just kind of took a shot there at the swap meet that it would work. I looked at it. But anyway, once I get all that off, I pull this engine out along with the transmission. The drive shaft will come out, and